Everyone, welcome to the CC11 calendar and business meeting for the month of March. We would like to say a very huge thank you to CC for welcoming us. I'm sorry that she can't with me tonight. I've dealt with her in the past because my daughter has attended some rising in the building. She's always been amazing. Ms. Padan. Yes, thank you to Principal Padan for welcoming us and being, it is principal, right? Oh, okay, I thought you were. Yeah, Principal Padan for being so welcoming. Thank you so very much. We're honored to be here. So good evening, District 11 families and community. Welcome to the CDC 11 March calendar and business meeting. Just as a reminder to everyone, this is a public meeting and it's being recorded. The time is now 6:10 p.m. At this time, only CEC 11 members and district members are speaking. For the people who are attending on Zoom, please have your mics on mute, and if you're able to, please turn on your closed captioning if we start to sound muffled. During the public comment section of our evening, if you are in person and would like to speak, please come on down to the front and grab the mic. If you are on Zoom, please raise your hand and someone will unmute you. We only ask that you limit your comments to 2 minutes. There are Spanish, Arabic, and Bengali interpreters in the house tonight, but only in person. And we're going to ask them to come down and introduce themselves, please. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
শুভ সন্ধ্যা আপনাদের যদি বাংলা ভাষায় কোনো ইন্টারপ্রেটার লাগে আমরা কিচেনে দুজনে ইন্টারপ্রেটার আছি এবং ডিভাইসে আপনারা নিতে পারেন এবং আপনারা যদি ডিভাইস নেন প্লিজ নেক্সট ডিভাইসে রিটার্ন করুন ধন্যবাদ
مساء الخير إذا احتجتم الترجمة باللغة العربية فلكم خذوا السماعة شكرا جزيلا إذا احتجتم ترجمة باللغة العربية فلكم خذوا السماعة هناك شكرا.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es José Conjota, traductor en español. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, de nada. Thank you for that. And now we are going to proceed into roll call by our recording secretary, Mr. Ritesh Agarwal.
Good evening, and thank you, Terry. Please respond if you're present when your name is called. Terry Matthews Cotton.
Present.
Present. Topaz Very Small.
Present.
Present. Robert Cruz.
Excused.
Excuse. Ritesh Agarwal. Present. Karina Garcia.
She's on here.
On my way, I'm on phone right now.
All right.
Thank you, Karina.
Thank you, present. Nicole Costello.
Present.
Present by Zoom. Jeff Cunningham. Present. Present. Taisha Bernard. Present. Peter Cole.
Present.
Present. Ashley Jones.
Present.
Present. We have 7 in person.
Beautiful, thank you. Thank you so much. Let the record show that we have 7 members in person and we have Trinidad quorum. At this time, we're going to move into the president's report. As a whole, the council is currently working on our legislative dinner. We are working on selecting the date, the exact date, finalizing the venue and working on the budget for the event. We expect that it will be held in June and we are proposing to hold it at Maestro's since we had the dinner there in the past and it's been hugely successful. In addition to that, we are also working on the tenure event, which we propose will be held during the month of May. Details to come. And we also would like to announce that we do have some vacancies on the council. So if you know of any parents who would like to join us in advocating on behalf of yours and our children, we would be very excited to welcome them. If you have any questions, Naomi's at the front. You can always speak with Naomi. You can always speak with any of the council members you see here or anyone on the district team would be honored to help you. And right on time, our superintendent is in the house. Ms. Wong, whenever you're ready to give your report, you can just let me know. But that was actually next on our agenda item. Unless Myra, would you like to go first? You don't mind? Okay, so we'll be superintendent going there to settle in, and you'll ask Ms. Myra to go first. Thank you.
Classes. I can see my own notes.
Thank you, Myla.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening. Today, we will be discussing school budgets, the proposed budgets for the FY 27 fiscal year, which starts July 1st through June 30th. We will concentrate this evening on where New York City Public School funding comes from, reviewing the fair student funding formula to help everyone understand how the system invests in children citywide and in District 11, and also how families and community members can find this information online. Where does the funding come from? The proposed budget for next fiscal year is $46.1 billion. This budget is going to be proposed to the panel of educational policy, and that's going to be in April. So the $46 billion, which equates to approximately $34,717 per student, is broken down this way. In terms of the city, $27.8 billion, which is 60% of the budget, comes from the city. So what does this mean? That's property taxes, sales taxes, and personal income tax. So the way it works is, the mayor proposes a budget to the city council, and the expectation is that it's approved and passed for the start of the fiscal year, which is July 1st. The second largest bucket that we get is from the state. That's 35% of our budget. I'm walking back and forth, so that, not to be rude. 35% comes from the state. So what that means is, we're looking at our income tax, corporate taxes, and sales tax. So the way it works is, the governor proposes this executive budget, and then between the governor, the state senate, and the state assembly, there needs to be legislative action, and the goal is, of course, for everything to pass, so that the budget passes by the start of that fiscal year, which is May 1st. The third bucket comes from the federal government. So what that means is, from our individual taxes and from corporate taxes. Congress proposes the budget, and the president signs it. And that fiscal year starts October 1st, pardon. This is the last bucket, and it's the smallest one, is labeled as all other. So what that means is grants that are applied for and donations, right? And as you can see, that makes up a smaller percentage. So let's break it down a little further. So when we look at the $46.1 billion, let's break that into two categories. There is what we are going to term non-discretionary, $19.8 billion. What that means is funding that has to be specific. So those categories are employee benefits, right? The pension, all right? Think about that, healthcare, that's extremely important. And then we have debt services. So what that means is payments for specific loans on buildings or other school construction needs. Then we have charter schools, and that is a mandate by law. Non-public schools and other contract schools. So what that means is we have some students with disabilities that have to attend specialized schools, and there needs to be funding for that as well. All right? So now we're going to look at the next category, which is termed discretionary, where there's a bit of flexibility. So what that looks like is 26.3 billion is basically scheduled for K-12 schools, early childhood, school operations, when we think of food, transportation, facilities, field administrative offices, the superintendent and her team, and then when we think about central administration, right? The downtown of all of our leadership. So that's what that looks like. So on the next page, we're going to take a closer look at District 11. So from all of that money, District 11 receives $730 million. So what does that breakdown look like? Fair student funding, which is that allocation that we're specifically talking about tonight, equals 62% of that budget. And we're gonna talk a little further, in terms of that breakdown. Other funding that comes from, the state and the local government as well is about 25% of that budget. And then we have, from the state, the contracts for excellence, which is foundation aid. And of course, there's a presentation that you hear on that as well, and you'll hear a little extra in May about that. And then we have from the federal government, two buckets, the Title I budget, and then we have all the others, which are like Title II, Title III, and Title IV. And when we think about all our title funds, that is under the category of ESSA, which means Every Student Succeeds Act. So on the next page, we are going to talk about, so who decides how the tax credit fair student funding budget is spent? Every year, what happens is the school leadership team, in collaboration with the principal, they work on creating what's called the CEP, right? One of our acronyms, and that stands for Comprehensive Educational Plan. And in that plan, there needs to be what the expectation is, what is happening in a school for the entire year, right? The academic needs of our children. The superintendent then is able to emphasize and underscore all of the chancellor's goals, right? And the responsibilities around ensuring that everything that is indicated in that CEP is actually taking place. Usually, at the end of May, the budgets for the following fiscal year are released, and in June, principals work very feverishly trying to make sure that these budgets are in place, again, in alignment with the CEP. So during that time period, it's not easy. They're working on one budget while they're still, finalizing another. So, important to, be cognizant of that. So now, we keep talking, or I keep talking rather, about this fair student funding, and everybody's like giving me a little bit more information. The one thing that I can tell you is the largest allocation that any school budget has. All right, we're going to go into that a little bit further. How does it work? It is based on a formula, and you will hear a lot the term weights. And what we mean by that is every single child, depending on the grade of the child and whether the child is an English language learner or if the child is a student with disabilities, that generates additional funding, which we term weights. And this is the piece where I was indicating the formula. There are also additional weights. For example, if the student is in temporary housing, if the student is struggling academically, if the school, for example, there are 3 possible tiers. And what that means is the higher the needs in the school, right, depending on economic index, STH, students in temporary housing, ENL, English language learners, special education, all of these, depending on the amounts, that classifies a tier. So it's going to make more sense when we look at other slides, so you're able to see that too. So what does not get funded with fair student funding? Because I mentioned a few minutes ago that every single school, right, that's their largest allocation. When we think of charter schools, they do not have that allocation. When we think of, I'm going to skip for a second, when we think about District 75, they do not have fair student funding either because they have their own allocations. However, 3K, pre-K, students with individualized education plans, referenced as IEPs, and the paras that are assigned speech teachers and occupational therapists, all of those positions have separate allocations, okay? So that's why they are not specifically funded with tax levy. So to give you an example, a 3K program in school, very specific. The money is to fund the teacher, to fund the para, to fund the materials that are needed, to fund any procession, and to fund any coverage. That's how it goes. It's very specific. All right. Everybody still with me? All right, okay. So now, let's look at when the school gets some money, so what does that look like? What's the base of it? So with fair student funding, there is a foundation. Every school will automatically get $225,000, right? Also, we have to take into account what's been happening, right? Were there any contractual increases? So what happens is that's called collective bargaining, and there's additional funding embedded in the tax levy fair student funding formula to be able to help, support principals with that. There's also what's called a per capita. Every single school has what's called an average teacher salary, okay? So what does that mean? This time, historically in March, and as the principal probably knows, the Galaxy system, which is the budgeting system, is going to close for 2 weeks. So what's happening during that time period is there's a recapture that's happening. So every single teacher that's in a building, their current salaries, right? If there was any salary step that took place, that's taken into account. If there was any collective bargaining, anyone who retired since last year, any new hires since last year, all of that is being captured so that it generates that average teacher salary advantage. And then after that, the students that are in the building and the weights that I referenced, all of that ends up generating that dollar amount. So really important to really think about. There are also dates that correspond to all of this. At the beginning of the year, sometimes families like to take extended vacations and not come back, in time. All of that is important and it's captured because October 31st, there's a register snapshot for general education. December 31st, there's a snapshot for English language learners and for special education. So just keeping that in mind. So on the next slide is what you all wanted to see when I'm talking about weights. Like, what does that mean? So we're going to look at this, for example, with a dollar value, for example, of 1. When we look at students from K through 1, we're going to keep it with that concept to try to make it a little easier, right? $1. 6 to 12, $1, right? And like 6 cents. And then when we look at 9 to 12, like $1 and 3. So now what happens? Let's say our elementary school student, when we look on the left of the screen, is basically below standards, right? In terms of testing. So that's now another 0.25. That same student, when we continue on the left side, is also a student in temporary housing. That's an additional 0.12. When we continue, we also know that the student is an English language learner who is currently in a bilingual class. That is now an additional 0.44. We're going to go to the right of the screen because the student is also a special needs student. And what happens is the student is in a more inclusive class and happens to be, let's say, kindergarten, so now there's an additional 2.09, okay? When we continue there, it's not a high school, not applicable, but if you continue on the bottom right, the concentration, remember I talked about those tiers earlier? If it were a school with a lot of the needs that I mentioned earlier, that would mean it would be a tier 3 school, and that would be an additional 0.12. So all of that follows that one particular student, and that is how that funding is generated for all the students. Now we're going to go on the next slide, which I think has the two students that we love to see, Ava and Miles. So now we're, becoming a little more colorful with our $1, right? So this is sort of, reiterating what I mentioned. When we look at Ava, right, we can see Ava has that 0.12 concentration of need, so that will tell you that's a tier 3. When we look at the 0.12 in green, it's a student in temporary housing. Now we're looking at the 0.12 in red, the academic intervention, and the 0.13 in the NL student. We see the purple, which means special education, more intensive, and then the 1 meaning it's an elementary school K-5 student. So when you look at Miles, basically the same type of detail, it just shows you how Ava generated more than Miles did. Okay, that makes sense so far? Yes? All right. On the next slide, we're looking at it now, instead of $1, with a bit more money, right? So for example, the per capita of $4,262. So this is what it would look like, the same information, but more of the real world, with $13,766 for Ava, and $11,451 for Miles. Okay? So on the next slide, one of the things that I want to say that is extremely important is a lot of the reports that are not yet available, right? So all of you are available because of the feedback that parents have provided. So it's important to understand that your voice does matter. And, please note that and note that there is so much available online. So for example, at the link here, you are able to find out different reports in terms of looking up their student funding to get more information. And on the next slide, I'm going to show you a little bit. Okay, so here, for example, when you log on to the DOE website, as soon as you log on, main page, on the top left, you're going to see where it says find a school. You can go in, and for example, if we were looking at the school that we're in right now, we would just put X160. When you get there, you're able to choose the option that says reports. From reports, on the bottom left, you are able to go where it says fair student funding detail. So what's really great about that? Everything that I just mentioned with the weights and all of that information, you are able to see it there. But the best part of that is, let's say, for example, you were to look at that in September, right? And you're getting all of that information. Remember when I mentioned about October 31st, right? The importance of the students attending, and then December. Now, there's a new feature that December capture, right? The final capture is called mid-year adjustment. So what happens is you are able to actually see that for every school, what mid-year adjustment they have. And I think it's really great because sometimes, a school can start a certain way and not necessarily end that way. And it's really important to understand that change does occur. All right? Then there's another option called Galaxy allocation. So what that shows you is every single allocation that the school receives. All allocations, the majority of them, I would say, are tied to what's called a SAM. A SAM is a school allocation memorandum. That gives you detail on why the allocation was given, who received the allocation, and what stipulations there are. So extremely important. Anything else that a school might have will likely come from a competitive process, and it's processed via a grant tracking system. But more than 90% is under the Galaxy allocation. The other piece is a budget summary, and you will be able to see details for the school in terms of how everything is scheduled. And then the other piece, which was sort of the highlight the last couple of years, is the budget at a glance, which we term the school back, right? So you are able to see specifics in terms of percentages, but also demographics for the school, right? So that's really good. So on the next slide is sort of going to give you an idea of what I just discussed. So here is the piece where I was talking about that mid-year adjustment, where you can see, for example, fair student funding for that particular school, and then you have the option to click and see what the specific weights are. Okay? So here, for example, it says that the school was projected for 145 students, but then 7 students ended up either leaving or didn't attend from the beginning of the year, and the principal had been funded for that. So then after that adjustment, they ended at 138. So it's very detailed, you know, and you're able to see it, and it also helps you to, you know, have a better understanding. So on the next slide, we are going to look at an example of the school plan, right, which is budget at a glance. So here on the left side, you are able to see the percentage of each of those allocations. So let's say, for example, at this example of a school, 41%, I was looking at my glasses and realized I have them on. Okay, 41% is fair student funding, and then the others, you know, it tells you there's like 48% that's another local funding. So it gives you that detail, right? Sort of a bit of what I was talking about at the beginning. But also, if you look further down to the left, you're able to see like how many classroom teacher salaries are being funded, right? What other salaries? How much, you know, comes out of this funding that has to do with employee benefits and other things? And then on the right side, you're basically able to see the demographics that I was talking about. And at this particular school, the funding that they have, like what that per capita looks like. Okay. So on the next page here, it's a reminder that your voice matters. If you have any questions that I cannot answer for you this evening, you are welcome to please email budgetpubliccomments@schools.nyc.gov, or you can place a phone call at 212-374-6754. Are there any questions?
I have a question. Are there questions in the chat? Oh, someone asked, oh, the agenda, there is it. So forgive me if I missed this, but I thought you said the IEP isn't part of the FAIR funding, so the money that covers the IEP allocation is not part of the FAIR funding.
Right, we have particular, it's not tax levy fair student funding, it's a different, it's either tax levy IEP or tax levy, or not tax levy or IDEA. So it's not under the tax levy fair student funding. You know, it has its own allocation.
That was my question, where does it come from? And if it's IDEA, is it then federal money?
Yes, that's federal money,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
But it's definitely, those positions do not get funded with tax levy fair student funding when it's that specific need for the school.
Thank you.
Okay.
This was really helpful, Myra.
Oh, thank you.
Very informative.
Any other questions?
One more.
Oh, yes.
Thanks so much again. Which pieces are self-reported by families, and then which pieces are reported by the school itself? So like, you know, obviously there's a section for IEPs, and then there's a section for financial status of the family.
So when it comes to
Yeah,
IEPs,
as it's weighted and as that calculation is put into effect.
well, everything is based on, so anything that has to do with IEP is based on, our system, which is our CSIS system, and everything has to do with, you know, our administrators for special education. You know, there's a process, right? The work that takes place with the family is not a school making a decision, right? There is a process for that. Determining what is in our system, that then generates the funding, how school is budgeted. So there's a process every January, which is a register projection process, and during that process, all of the students that are identified and their weights are there. And then when the budgets are released, the school principals get that money. If there are any discrepancies, we have to be able to prove, right, these discrepancies. And then if additional funding is needed, the school will receive the additional funding. Does that clarify that piece for you?
Yeah, what about like family income? That's all self-reported.
Oh, that's the difference. So when you're thinking about family income, if I'm correct, you're thinking about the family income inquiry forms. That is based on determining the Title I allocation for every school. So for example, District 11, we have 2 schools that are not Title I SWP schools. So
Can you give us those schools, sorry?
19 and 175. Okay. And what that means is the established poverty percentage rate for the city is 60%. So at the beginning of the year, when everyone is asked to please complete the family income inquiry form, what that means is depending on that information, on the economic index of every family, that determines the percentage of every school and whether or not Title I funding will be given to a school. And I have to tell you from experience, I have had schools in the past where the families wouldn't complete the forms. And I had one specific school, every year when I was the budget director, and I met with the principal, I had to either excess staff, and he could not get the programs that he needed accomplished. And I would say, please collect the forms, collect the forms. The one year that they collected those forms and reached the level, they received $333,000 in Title I funding, and I did not have to access any of that year. So it's extremely important. Yes, in some cases you can collect, and you still won't reach it, but it's the goal of trying to get there to collect everything, because you never know. From year to year, any family can have a situation where their economic situation might change. Yes.
So I'm just curious, the 2 that we have, is it that we're not collecting the
They
forms,
actually,
or is it that they need,
and in their defense, there are a couple of things, because there could be a lot of outreach in terms of collecting, and in some cases, parents might not. But with the 2 schools, I can say that there has been a lot of effort, and one of them was, I think, maybe had less than 5 left, but it's still the percentage, right? Because the families do not qualify. So, I would definitely, we work a lot with the schools, and there's a lot of outreach. But like I said, anything can change from year to year, so it should always be a continuum. And we're hoping, that maybe things might change in the future, and the percentages might get lower, which might help us to be able to capture more schools that can make a big difference for them. Okay? All right, yes.
So this was really informative, right? And I've had a fiscal background for a couple of decades. So the things that you're talking about, the numbers, the allocations, that all makes sense to me. When I served as the PA president at 153, we had a lot of questions from parents regarding these exact same things, and we didn't know where to direct them to get the information. In addition, I'm wondering if with some education around this, does it make sense for the parent coordinators to distribute maybe the last 4 slides, letting people know where they can find this information, because they have questions on it, but then also it helps them understand the importance. Are you unable to hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have another mic, Naomi? Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. So what I was saying was this mic is a lot quieter. I like this mic. This is supremely helpful, right? As a nonprofit fiscal executive for a couple of decades, this is wonderful to see. As a parent whose kid is only 7 and is my first child, this is incredibly informative, because it's not as though I had any information coming into public school a couple of years ago to understand the funding, right? So this makes a lot of sense. When I served as the PA president at 153 last year, I believe it was,
we got lots of questions from parents about these exact same things, and we didn't know necessarily where to direct them. The best we could say was ask the office, but the office is so busy. They don't always have, I mean, we have what, 500 kids at 153, right? You can't really expect the secretary to respond to all of those requests. So my question was, as this is clearly public information and you have given us the tools to find it on the website, should we think about implementing a process by which we send the last 4 slides of your presentation to the parent coordinators and then they send them home with the children? Or we do presentations?
Whatever you feel, works best and will help, absolutely, and just, I just wanna echo that reminder of, at the beginning of the year, right, there's always that excitement. I always say September's very exciting because, everybody's like, oh, the book bags, the haircut, the parents are ready to fill everything out, right?
Right.
You try to get them in December, it's like, yeah, it's work, right? So, it's great to catch people and that excitement is there to have those forms completed. And we've had schools that, make it exciting, right? And there could also be, depending on the size of the school, is there a parent room where maybe there are certain parents that might be challenged, technologically challenged, that maybe the computer is just there readily available and completed there, right? There's also paper format, right? So there are options, and I just want to reiterate that it's about funding. And, if a school can be a Title I school, and the following year still be a Title I school, but the allocation might be less, because even though they reached the goal, maybe not everybody completed it, right? So there are different scenarios. So the goal is always to get to 0, because, you have a better chance, right, instead of what if.
Yeah, thank you, Myra. I really, really
Alright.
appreciated this.
Any other questions? Well, I appreciate you all taking the time to listen to me, and, have a great time.
Yeah, you guys can take this mic, I don't want it. Yes. Thank you again, Myra. That was really informative and very helpful. At this time, we would like to move into the superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Fabulous to see all of you. I just want to recognize that we're at PS 160. Brady are here. We are excited. Our students are here too, and our families are here as well. We have the 160 choir. We are so excited to hear you. I just want to bring it back to Ms. Bernard's presentation and all of the funding that goes into our schools. And I just want to bring it back to the important voice that all of you have at the table, especially if you are on the school leadership team. And so I would encourage, if, as a parent, that is the team that you really, have an opportunity to share your voice on the goals, on the priorities, and how money gets spent. So I highly encourage you to get on the school leadership team. Also, your PTA board is another great place where you have voice. So I encourage you to do that. I also want to shout out the borough president and our elected officials, because tomorrow they're going to One World 529, and they're also going to CASA MS 462, and they are going to be giving funds to both of those schools. So they're going to be at 529 at 9:30 a.m. and at 10:30 they're going to be at CASA, and that's really exciting. I also want to wish everyone a wonderful Women's History Month. As we're visiting schools, we keep hearing about how our students are learning about the amazing women that have been in history and also that have been in our own lives. I'll shout out my mom, Anne Harkin Vaughn, who was a nurse for 25 plus years in St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital, worked in the ER, worked as a nurse, single parent, so I would definitely shout her out. Without her, I would not be here, that's for sure. And I also want to shout out all the wonderful parents and women that are here on our board and also sitting in our audience. You guys are so special, and thank you for all that you do for our schools and for your families and for our children. We also want to share that you just recently got a report card. If you're in middle school, you might have gotten your report card today. If you're in elementary school, you would have gotten it last week. So report cards are out. There are some happy kids out there, happy parents, and then there's the other side of the coin where we say, let's do better. We still have another marking period. It's only March. We have several months. ED Pincus is going to talk about some of the strategies that we have going across the district, but all of our 44 schools are working really hard with all of our students to make sure everyone makes progress in all subject areas. Lastly, before I turn it over to Deputy Superintendent Perez, I just want to share that we have Principal Biernat in the audience who's going to talk to us about an amazing, his school that is going through a name change, but there are big changes happening in District 11. If you are interested in a middle school, a 6 through 12, if you're interested in an amazing, cutting edge middle school for your child, or if you are a student in District 11 and you're interested in going to a middle school in 6th grade, that where you don't have to go to a different school, you don't have to transfer a ninth grade, because you'll be in the same school from 6th grade to 12th grade. If you're interested in that, you're going to hear in a few minutes about a really special opportunity that's happening in September in District 11. We have no high school, so this is going to be the first opportunity that we have in District 11 to have a 6 through 12. And it's not going to be just any school. It's going to be very, very, very special. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our Deputy Superintendent Perez.
Good evening, everyone. And you are not making things up. It was just almost 70 degrees, and right now it's snowing. So there's that. Thank you very much for being here. Good evening to all of our families, parents, our District 11 parent leaders, and our team, of course. So, as Superintendent Vaughn said, there are exciting and amazing things happening in District 11. Many of our 44 schools have just been rocking and rolling with joyful learning activities and experiences for our students. We also are really proud when we can come together as an entire district, like we did a few weeks ago for our Black History Month celebration. So we want to give a huge shout out to our family leadership coordinator and our family support coordinator, so Ms. Sharon Johnson and Miriam Bordella, in honor of HBCU. That was our theme for that night, and we wouldn't recognize them because they were very dressed up. Many of our schools came out and did such amazing performances, dance, spoken word, singing. They got sort of band, all kinds of wonderful things. Orchestra, the artwork, the decor. Oh wow, is that 160? Shout out 160. So please be on the lookout for more district events that come up, but we just really want to thank the ladies because we know that to put on such an extravaganza, I'll call it, takes a lot of coordination. The little things are the big things, and we noticed it all, and we thank you very much, Sharon and Miriam. And also, if you missed that, please don't miss it again next year, but also don't feel sad, we have more activities coming up in our schools. We have a science share, March 25th, that'll be at 11X 194, and again, these are opportunities when our whole district comes together, all 44 schools. We're gonna see our amazing scholars engaged in some science activities they're gonna share, and we're gonna learn a lot when we're able to come. Then on May 2nd, ooh, that's a big one, Saturday, everybody comes out. They bring drinks, food, tents, chairs, like a pizza, burgers, it's like a beach day. So if you haven't been before, you have to come because Bronx District 11 students will be riding in those soapbox dirty cars that they worked very hard to build this year. And so that's the day we will compete against each other. And we're gonna see if there's a different school that comes out on top this year. We're friendly competition, Principal Beal, like friendly competition, Principal Montgomery. But I will let the rest of you know, we've had the same school win 3 years in a row. And it's not like on the board. But let's see what happens this year. Finally, on May 19th,
Your kids say practice, practice, practice ahead of May 2nd.
that's how it goes. Shout out to Principal Sawyer, sorry, we love all our principals, PS 68, 3 years in a row. So let's see what happens, this is your chance. And then finally, on May 19th, at 1:44, we have the 4th annual STEAM Expo. That's also really great, and again, our students have put a lot of time and effort into it. And so if you are available at any of those upcoming 3 dates, please feel free to join us. We would love to see you there. With that, I'll turn it over to our executive director, Ms. Karen Lucas.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Great to be here at 160. So as you know, and as you've heard, our students and staff have been working very, very hard. And we see amazing learning experiences happening across our district. As you may know, every spring, our students in grades 3 through 8 take New York State exams in both ELA and mathematics. So this year, the ELA state exam, the window is April 14th to April 24th. So every school selected 2 days for the test during that window. And the math exam is taking place between April 28th to May 8th. So again, every school selected 2 days for the math exam. In these weeks leading up to the state tests, all of our schools are engaged in what we call the academic sprint. So for ELA, all of our students are using a program, all of our students, I should say, who are designated for the academic sprint. These are our students that are typically right around the cusp of proficiency, but they need that extra push in the weeks leading up to the test to make sure that they score proficiently on these exams. So for ELA, our sprint students are using a program called iReady, and for math, our students are using a program, either iReady again, or they're using Zern. So parents and families, if your students are part of that group that's participating in the sprint, you would have received communication from your school, and you can support your child by helping them get on iReady even at home, because the extra time is always helpful. We require a minimum of 45 minutes per week, and the reason is that we have seen the results, and the results are proven. So we did this last year, and we saw incredible growth for our sprint students in ELA and math, and we are expecting the same type of incredible growth this year. If you have any questions, please reach out to your child's school. And now I'm going to turn it over to our family leadership coordinator. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing from our superintendent.
I just want to make sure I said the electeds for tomorrow's borough president, and also Councilman Riley. So it's the two of them that are going to be giving out those funds to our schools.
And now, Ms. Sharon Johnson.
Good evening, good evening. I just want to point out 2 things. First and foremost, New York City Kids Rise. As I was saying, the college program, the district has a goal to have 50%. I looked at the superintendent on because she wants 100%, but the goal on paper is 50% of our families will activate their child's Save for College account. Currently, the district is at 39%. We should have been higher, but new enrollments were down, which means we have to push again. But we are currently at 39%, which is awesome. We are well on track of making our goal. Since January, over 826 District 11 families have activated their child's New York City scholarship account. That's not no small deal. 826 in a matter of 2 months. So that's awesome. On April 15th, the New York City Kids Rise staff will be presenting during our Wednesday Engage, Educate, and Empower Family Night. That's April 15th. They will be on hand. I want to shout them out too, as they were in the house during the Black History celebration, as the theme was HBCU. They were on hand, so we thank them. I have a surprise. I don't know if you know Superintendent Vaughn, but they're making a reel of that night, and it's going to be on social media, and they are going to send it to us so we can put it on our website. So keep in mind for that. Speaking of, we have a upcoming, we did a sprint. That's how we achieved that 826 activation. Our second sprint is going to be May 4th, leading up to 529 Day. So get those accounts activated so that the parent coordinators don't stress you out. Because they're gonna stress you out during the sprint. Because I'm gonna stress them out. Because this one's gonna stress me out. Lastly, as a part of our Wednesday Engage, Educate, and Empower, I want everyone to tune in next week, March 18th. The District 11 ELA team will be presenting a workshop on how to prepare your child for the New York State ELA test. That is March 18th. Check your email for the flyer. Check our District 11 website and ask your parent coordinator how you can log on. We want to get our kids all in that 4 category. Let our team from the district help you, give you some pointers, best practices. Thank you. Shout out to my partner right here, Ms. Borgella.
And now we are going to welcome Principal Verna.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks to Superintendent Vaughn for that nice pre-introduction. I am Joseph Verna, principal at Leaders of Tomorrow Middle School, soon to hopefully be Iodine Young Center, Bronx. And that has a very special name because it's connected to our partners that are helping us expand into the high school. So Jimmy Iodine and Dr. Dre, who's the Young and Iodine Young, founded a college at USC and then spun out a high school in California. And they look to bring that model to New York City. And so they created an amazing college, they created an amazing platform for students to engage in challenge-based learning and design learning. And through that partnership, they're also bringing us additional CEOs who are helping make sure that the students who go through our program are prepared for college. One example of that is they recently put us in contact with a program called Knowledge, which connects schools with attendance initiatives that incentivize the students to come to school with engaging work. And for students who come through 6 through 12 for us, they can earn $250 a month towards college. And that may not sound like a lot on 1 month, but from 6th through 12th grade, that's $17,500 that can then be applied to college tuition at over 400 colleges across the United States, 50 of which are in New York State. So there's real power in what they're offering and bringing incredible connections. So we are asking the CEC to consider the name change that we're proposing to change from Leaders of Tomorrow Middle School to Iodine Young Center Bronx, which also leverages their partnerships now with 6 other schools who are Iodine Young across the nation, and really helps us, I think, with marketing and access to other things as we move forward. So, sure, it would be Iodine, IOVINE, after Jimmy Iodine, and Young Center, and then dash Bronx. So this would be their Bronx site, building off of their first site in Los Angeles, and they've also opened programs in Atlanta and Miami, and have programs planned for Denver, Chicago, and another site in California in the coming years. Thank you all.
Any questions?
Thank you, everyone, and thank you very much, Principal Bernard, for showing up tonight and giving the presentation. At this time, we would like to move into the summarizing presentation, which will be presented by Zoom.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but can you turn the volume up a little?
Okay, I'll speak louder. I'm about to share my screen.
Thank
Let me
you.
know if you can see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
we
okay. And the volume? Okay. All right. So good evening, everyone. Wow, I'm glad to hear things are going well and to understand your decision-making process and budget for your district. My name is Angela Faloye. I am the Senior Director of Summer Programming for New York City Public Schools. And so what that means basically is that I lead the efforts for summarizing, but I work collaboratively with the superintendent's team and so many other offices. All right, I'm excited to share summarizing with you all. I know many families already know about the program, but let's get into it. So the agenda, basically is to discuss the summarizing overview and then give you timelines, if there's time, my schools, offers, and wait list. So basically, I know you guys know, so I'm just going to be very quick with this slide, but summarizing is a free full-day program for students currently in grades kindergarten through 8th grade. Of course, we provide free meals. It is citywide, and we currently have 110,000 seats. The seats are
Angela?
definitely, yes.
Okay, 1 second. I'm really sorry. We've just gotten the volume to be increased. Would you mind just giving us a little recap of what you were saying? Let's see if that
Sure.
helps.
Is this
Yeah.
better? Is my volume better?
Much better. Thank you.
Much better? Okay. All right. I feel like I'm yelling here too, but okay, as long as you can hear me. Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me. I am excited to be here. I mentioned earlier that I'm the Senior Director for Summer Programming. And in a nutshell, if you have questions, you reach out to me. But I do work collaboratively, with the superintendent team. We do have a summer superintendent point. So they are really the go-to for your district. So I'm jumping right into what summarizing is. And I know many of you know, but for those who are new to the program, it's a free full-day program over the summer. It is for students currently in grades kindergarten through 8th grade. We offer free meals. It is citywide. We have limited seats though. So I want to make that clear that we have 110,000 summarizing seats. At the end of the day, the vision really is for all students to make progress in their learning. And we are actually seeing, when we do the impact analysis, let me be clear, when we do the impact analysis to say, hey, those students who attend summarizing versus there's the same demographics and psychographics who do not attend, how do these students fare? And we're actually seeing that they're doing better in the fall for reading and for math as well. So long story short is that when you attend summarizing, it actually is impactful, during the fall. Okay, so moving along, I do want to share a video with you to showcase the amazing opportunities that families can find at summarizing. Bear with me.
and like drawing for like the scrapbook and to put your create drawing for like the scrapbook and to put your creativity out on paper and like just to express yourself. When you like express yourself, you like feel good about it.
I think that kids really thrive on routine. So the idea of having a routine every day, also being with friends from their schools and their communities, and also meeting some friends from other neighboring schools is really nice to see. So some of the students who didn't know many people in the beginning of the summer formed new friendships. I think the making it fun part is important, especially in the summer. So trying to make the assignments relatable to the students and giving them some choice. There were book club books that were part of the summer curriculum, and the students enjoyed choosing from the book. They also enjoyed the book club element of meeting with a group and talking about the book. The learning component too obviously helps prevent the summer slide and keep up their academics while still providing them a fun, enriching opportunity.
The kids are very engaged. We just finished doing an LOL unit where the books were they were like funny books. So I feel like the kids really liked that, and the activities that they have, like they have book projects and it's like write an alternate ending, and I feel like the kids respond well to that. And then in the enrichment in the afternoon, we do like arts and crafts, we have playtime.
I think it's a really important thing to have, especially bringing arts into it. It really helps to build community. The kids want to have interaction, they want to be engaged, so it's important to show up for them.
Excellent. I hope you were able to see and hear the video.
Yes, we were, Angela.
Oh, excellent. Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Let me get back to the presentation. All right, so this slide is extremely important. I want to be clear that when students show up now, and now means when summarizing begins, when students show up now, they stand out in the fall. Attendance matters, and showing up consistently makes a difference. To give you context, there are 22 days of instruction in the summer for K through 5, 33 days total, and for middle school, 28 days total. So you can see that, we're talking about around 30 days, basically. So if students are missing days out of this short amount of time, they're not getting the most of summarizing. So in order to show up now and actually stand out in the fall, to really see significant impact in the fall, you must be showing up at least 20 days or more. So again, I want to, make that plea to you to really discuss with families that it is important that you show up. I don't know what, families have thought about in terms of summer programming, but again, we offer academic programming in the morning that is really impactful in the fall. And the more you attend, the better prepared the students will be to succeed in math and reading in the fall. I really do want to, make this clear. When every year we do impact analysis, we actually look at data, screener data. So I hope I'm not getting too technical, but for those pedagogues in the room, you would know what screener data is. So we look at spring data, spring screener data and fall screener data to say, hey, if you did attend versus those who did not attend, like I mentioned earlier, is there any significance? And again, the data, I just want to repeat this, that the data is showing there is statistic significance for those who are attending for all grades in math and for K through 2 in reading. So encourage your students to attend consecutively. And I do need your help. We need your help to boost attendance. So please give us ideas, reach out to your superintendent with ideas, reach out to and the superintendent, like I said, has a summer team. So I'm eager to learn about your ideas in terms of boosting attendance. Okay, so I want to make it clear that every summarizing site, we have core program components because for me, I believe that if folks don't know why you should attend regularly or what you're missing out, that is why we might have attendance issues. So that's why I really want to phone in on what do you see in every summarizing site. You see evidence-based curriculum. You see we actually have a pretest to understand, where each student is, because students are allowed to apply to various sites are citywide. So you might be going to school in Brooklyn, but you want to attend a summarizing site in the Bronx. We allow for that, but we have to gauge through pretest, and that happens at the beginning. So it's also important that students attend at the beginning and not just in middle. Every site has mindfulness. We offer, in fact, last and previous summers, we had yoga and mindfulness, but every site has different opportunities for mindfulness, and then even physical activity and wellness. We also provide DOE, I should say New York City Public School-led enrichment. And I'm actually going to talk about what some sites have been doing when it comes to enrichment. So it's not just math and ELA. We try to have an engaging, fun, and enriched summer. We also provide field trips as well. I want to provide noteworthy programs. So for example, in East Harlem, there's a program that starts with swimming. So when you come in, you sign in your students for the day. This program starts with swimming. After swimming, there is social emotional learning dance, whereby students use dance, to see how they feel for the day, to regulate themselves and to ensure they have a fun-filled, peaceful day. That is just the beginning. Then when they now start the day with math and ELA, we have also, that school, I should say, has woven in enrichment such as financial literacy and climate change into the day. So as you can imagine, these students are showing up. They are showing up for a fun-filled day. I do have another program in Crown Heights. What I love about this program, when I went to visit, I saw how engaged the students were for a math lesson. I mean, it felt like I was watching a Broadway show, so that is what I appreciated. But they also had, in the morning before classes, they had Bright Start affirmations where the students were affirming themselves, and this again also felt like a Broadway show to see the students saying, oh, I'm beautiful, I'm this, really providing themselves with positive affirmations. And this school also provided civics as enrichment and climate change. So I hope this allows you to see why students should be showing up daily. These are the types of enrichment that allow students to also stand out in the fall. Okay, let me jump into eligibility and important dates. As I said, summarizing is for students who are currently in kindergarten through 8th grade, but they must be students who reside in New York City and attend a New York City school. You can attend a charter, parochial, or New York City public school. The important dates are that the application launched on March 3rd. It closes March 27th. So families, please go in now to My Schools. The applications are in My Schools. If you have any questions, go to your school. Again, they close on March 27th. On April 21st, the offers will be released. May 5th is the deadline. After the offers come out on April 21st, May 5th is the deadline to accept. You must accept. If you do not accept, the seats will be assumed as declined and they will go into the pool for those on the wait list. Last year, we had 150,000 plus applications. And remember, I said there are 110,000 seats. So that's a difference of over 40,000. And so we have 40,000 students waiting on the wait list. So if you decline the offer, it goes to those on the wait list. The program begins July 1st. Ends on August 7th for grades 6 through 8, and then August 14th for grades K through 5. The wait list begins or opens, I should say, on April 21st as families begin to decline their offer. I do have, and I would give this to the CEC rep. with the website, the family website, if you have questions with everything that I've said, you can go to nyc.gov/summarizing. We have flyers in all languages. I do also have a toolkit. If you want to post this on social media, we actually have pre-written posts and then flyers as well. So I can share this with the CEC rep. So this is how you can inform families to please apply again by March 27th. The slide is a long slide, but in essence, it shows that we support vulnerable students, we support multilingual learners as well. Now, I'm going to quickly show a video of how to apply in my schools. Again, and before I go into the video, I want to make it clear that 5th graders can actually apply to elementary and middle school sites. So again, 5th graders who are not mandated can attend either an elementary site or as a summer bridge for that 5th grader can actually attend a middle school site. We are prepared for them. I do encourage families to apply to as many programs as possible, but these are programs that they are interested in and can get to. Of course, rank in order of true preference. Okay, I'm going to share the video. Please, let me know immediately if you cannot hear or see the video.
Angela,
On the dashboard,
do you think that we may be able to post this video on our website?
Say that one more time.
Do you think you may be able to share the video with us through email or we can post it on our website?
This video that I'm about to share on the website?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you post it on our CEC 11 website?
Okay, I'll provide that to you. I think I heard what you said. It's a bit blurry. I will reach out to the rep and so that I can hear properly. But yes, I think you said share the video on the website, and I believe I can do that.
And actually, I just wanted to say that we utilized Summarizing a summer ago, and it was a tremendous help. So I honestly do think it's a fantastic program. If time permits, I would like to ask if you wouldn't mind presenting again in April. I believe that if you present in April, that would be in advance of your deadline, which you said was May 5th, right? Just to get the word out to more parents, because this is such a supportive program, and I can attest to that.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank
Sounds
you
good.
so much. Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
So here we have it. The PS 160. Walt Disney Magnet C Schools 4th grade choir. Are you guys ready to sing?
Where the you guys okay there? Hold on, guys. We're gonna go on stage. Tracy. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. We saw on the slides the Black History Month performances and celebration at Columbus High School a few weeks ago, and PS 160 sent our hardware to it, but we also had a celebration here at PS 160, so a small group of fourth graders would like to share one song. Thank you.
I
have a dream, have a dream, have a dream, have a dream. I can hear I just here in the streets, listen, every person.
Thank you. Oh, this isn't my seat. Thank you so much.
Can we get another round of applause for those beautiful voices and beautiful little faces? Fantastic job. Thank you so much for coming out, and I hope you guys have had something to eat. Okay. At this time, we would like to move into members' reports. Anything?
I have a number
Ashley.
four.
Ashley.
Microphone.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Ashley.
So I just want to report that, just speaking from CDC 11, that I attended the D11 Black History extravaganza, HBCUs, and it was truly wonderful. The great thing about our district was that it happened on a day of a bit of a blizzard, and so many parents and so many schools and kids came out. It was over like 100 families there, and it was just phenomenal. And the district leadership team did their thing, so we can give them a round of applause. Just something. Do everything they need to do in order to keep our community and family engaged. I also want to give a shout out to CASA, which is the Cornerstone Academy for Social Action. That school, not only did they perform in the Black History play that day, that same weekend they held their own Black Girl Magic Brunch, and it was Saturday, February 28th, and it was from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it was amazing. It had where kids did vision boards, they made pocketbooks, they learned about cooking. There was a because I had so much that I had to say, and they learned about cooking. They made pocketbooks. They had Tatiana's Dancers, which is one of their after-school programs there. It was the kids instructing kids. CASA does a great job, so anytime that I get to highlight Principal Grant and all the great work that those folks are doing at that school, I also want to make sure that I say that here. But that's it, that's my members report, that our schools are just continuing to do phenomenal jobs and engage with the community and families the way that they need to.
Thank you, Ashley. At this time, do we have any additional member reports?
Just to remind about the survey, the school survey is until April 1st. Please fill it out.
Thank you, Karina. And if there are no other reports, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn the March. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right now, we'd like to move into the public comment section of the night. If anyone has anything they'd like to share, any questions, you're welcome. If anyone has any thoughts here on the name change, come on down, Dr. Silver, please feel free to take them up. And if anyone on Zoom would like to say anything as well, please feel free to raise your hand.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Tovar.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I just want to find out from the presentation that we had, right? It's meant for the parents. We didn't have the parents here. And even online, I see we have about 15, no matter what we have. Is there any other means of making that presentation? You know, I was expecting, I thought I would ask that question.
Which presentation? The summarizing or the budget?
Presentation about summarizing. Is there any other means to make that presentation so that the people that need to hear about it should be in the room or maybe be the audience? That is one. Number two, if you have attended it before, is there a way for that system to keep you on record so that maybe what you need to do just receive a message that you still want to attend this program this year, something like that? Since it's meant for kindergarten through whatever grade. So 8th grade, yes. So those are the two questions. One, where to meet the people, or we're not in the room when that was presented. Number two, if you have done it before, is there a way to just reach out by way of profiling, you know, so that the people can just receive messages? Thank you.
I can give you an idea about that.
Thank you, Dr. Tovar. So for the first question, honestly, I agree. I think it's a great program, and I hope that a lot more parents learn about at least having the option. Which is why I asked you to come back next month to present again. I would like us to put this on our website and any individual CEC member, IG pages, Facebook pages to get the word out there. But also, I believe the parent coordinators send home flyers on this. I know that I receive emails, but I'm not able to tell you off the top of my head if they're from the after-school program or if they're from the parent coordinator. Yeah, so maybe they come from both. Yeah, the after-school coordinator, they normally send out an email letting you know that the program is open, as they are also sharing in the programming component during the summer. And then the parent coordinator really sends out flyers, which come home as well. Yeah. And then the second question, I mean, we can ask her for her thoughts on that and then get back to you with it. Thank you. Anyone else?
I can give an idea about the summer rising because my daughter attended that program for 3 years in middle school. And it was always in the same location. And my daughter is in a special education. Some parents think summer rising is just for general ed, but if all the kids can apply. And I think in some way the system have like a follow-up with the students, because in our case, we receive the emails from the school, and the website to apply for summer rising is My Schools. there is where you could go and apply for it, and you can see this, all the sites. You can choose the sites. In my case, we use the same site because the school that my daughter was attending, they had the summer rising for summer, so it was very convenient. But I think they have a way to follow what students attend before.
Thank you, Karina. Are there any additional public comments at this time? Is there anyone on Zoom? Naomi? Okay. Well, at this time, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn the calendar meeting for March 2026.
I, Peter Cole, make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. May I have a second?
I took that very small second.
Thank you. The meeting is hereby adjourned. I tell you that this time to declare that the March 2026 calendar meeting is now adjourned at 7:35 p.m. Thank you. We will take a 5-minute break or so before moving into the business meeting. Thank you, everyone.
I want to make sure we're.
Is there anyone on Zoom? Is there anyone on Zoom?
No.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So we're moving into the business meeting portion of the night. The business meeting is called to order at 7:51 p.m. And we're going to have CDC 11's recording secretary, Mr. Ritesh Agarwal, perform the roll call. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Please respond and present if you are here. Terry Matthews Cotton.
Present.
Present. Topaz Mary Small.
Present.
Present. Robert Bruce. Excused. Ritesh Agarwal. Present. Karina Garcia.
Present.
Present. Nicole Costello.
Present.
Jeff Cunningham. Here. Present. Taisha Bernard. Present. Peter Cole.
Present.
Present. Ashley Jones. Present. We are 80%.
Thank you. So let the record show that we have 8 in person and we have, that's really and we have had quorum, we have 6 items on the business meeting's agenda tonight, and in the interest of time, we're just gonna roll right into them. First are the uncertified February reading minutes. At this point, I would like to give everyone 2 minutes to read over the minutes and let us know if you have any thoughts.
This is the February calendar business, business meeting.
Yes, the uncertified February calendar and business meeting minutes from the February 12th meeting.
I just have a question about business meeting minutes, well, just minutes in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how important is like punctuation and stuff like that? Just an overall, just to kind of like, I'm just trying to understand.
I would imagine that it might be not necessarily negligible, but if it poses a problem in the comprehension of the document, it would, if it's something that will change the context of what's being presented, it's imperative, yeah.
Okay, so only if it changes the.
Not necessarily only, right, because we always want to have the best presentation and put the best foot forward, but if it's something that outrightly changes, then we absolutely have to like not have that on the minutes. But if it's.
Because they get posted to the website, right?
Yeah,
So we want to
people have
make
to really
that.
understand exactly
Yeah,
what
because
it's
that's where I look at it, what's, you know, when we post it to our website, what does it look like and what is it representing? But then you gotta remember too, I'm a technical website person, so I look at things from a different perspective. Formatting and things like that is important just to my eye, but I don't know, you know, like, it may not just be important to regular disciplines in general, so that's why.
I would say that they were important all of the time, and then especially so if it changes the context.
Okay.
Do you have any items on this?
I would just then, if it's, you know, where it says interpreters, introduction, Spanish, comma, Bangladesh, there needs to be a comma there, so it just say comma and. It's not Bangladesh and Arabic.
Ma'am, are you able to, like, oh, thank you.
The language is called Bangla, not Bangladeshi. The language is called Bangla, not Bangladeshi.
I was gonna say
it's yeah.
Can you spell that for Naomi?
Yes, Bangla.
Oh, so you saying it was spelled correctly?
It's the wrong word.
Oh, it's the wrong word. Oh.
So,
Just in the interest of being correct and also being culturally respectful, when I say that we have Spanish, English, and Bangladeshi, I think that's what I say, right? Interpreters speaking tonight, is that correct? Or I said Bengali?
Bengali.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bengali is correct.
Okay.
I didn't even catch that.
Okay, thank you.
Bengali is the ethnicity and the Bangla is the language.
Thank you, Ritesh. And my apologies to everyone who may have been offended by that.
So the word needs to change here. This one, I got yes.
Yes.
Under, district comprehensive education plan, we just want to take a look at where, you know, where we have like priority one dash. So it looks like dash and hyphens, it looks like the formatting is just a little off, it's a little weird.
I see what you mean.
You see what I'm like?
Yeah, I see what you mean. They
And
only look like
then,
you see that with me? Okay. I think it's just missing a space after priority two's dash. If you between the dash and all, it needs a space and then it will automatically shorten the dash.
A high quality, academic experience, that's another, like, I don't know if it's supposed to be high quality, meaning like one word and dash, but there's a dash there, so it grammatically, probably would know better, Terry, but I just know that that's all.
No, there's an extra space there, you can correct that. I think can I ask for one change, where it says, president's report at the top, can we change vacancies available to vacancies are available, period, and then capital P to start a second sentence, please check the, one second. Okay, and please check, so we're gonna cross out the word out, please check the website for the flyer and further information on how to apply.
It says tenure event and parent, but what about those two things?
Yeah, and I was gonna ask as well, for the president's report where it says tenure event and parent meeting the legislative event, if you could just expand it a little bit, just to say what I talked about, whether it's, you know, the date or that we're trying to finalize the date, we're looking for a location, et cetera. It doesn't have to be anything super expensive, but just a little more detail. That would be great.
Capitalize event. Rather than capital for legislative. I mean, yeah, legislative event, so. Curricula, that's so correct.
Where are you?
Under go, how shared, high quality, that's so correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so, yeah. It's 2 hours, right? Curriculum. Curriculum, high quality curriculum. That's all right, right? 2 hours?
Rich hire is supposed to be 2 words.
Is that the name of the?
Is that
all?
all?
That might be the name of the.
Oh, that's their branding.
Where are we?
Reach higher, is that their branding, or is that looks like it's missing a space in, or is that their?
Should that be two words, Amy? Or could you just find out and let us know? Okay, thank you.
The summarizing building affiliations chart of schools listed, what is that? If I'm just reading this, I don't understand what that means. It was a what? A ground. So can we maybe put a sentence there and say a graph was displayed, something a little bit more? Because when you say chart of schools listed, I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna say, where's the chart of schools at?
The parent-teacher conferences, Naomi, March 5th. I would just ask that you capitalize the K through 8, please. I don't know if elementary needs to be capitalized as well, but probably, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and then on March 12th for middle schools as well.
Afternoon and evening conferences as well. This is no period, so I couldn't imagine that it's written out like that.
No, I mean, this could be discussed offline though.
Yeah. Okay, so do we want to just approve this with edits and if we have any additional?
Absolutely, got it wrong, let's just seize the moment.
Okay.
Let's just go through, say all the changes real quick, and then we can approve it, and don't have to come back.
On school districts.
Would you say that to me, so she doesn't have to look for a data? Naomi, you found the name of the program for the grant, so we're just gonna send it to you. Okay.
You want to hold the vote in a minute?
Okay, so this one, I think we can move to hold the vote on the minutes, Jack, okay with that? To hold the vote on the minutes, are you guys okay? Okay.
To hold the vote?
Yeah, hold, like have a vote, conduct a vote on the minutes.
Wait, I have one more question, just about, we're gonna go start the vote, right?
Yeah.
Just one more, members under the treasurer's report, members have the option to donate from month/amount. Should this say monthly amount? I'm confused with it. That was my last thing I thought.
I think we should change the sentence. So.
Members
Oh,
have
okay.
the options to donate from their monthly rate first, maybe it's more clear.
Yeah, because I'm like month amount. Okay. Thank you.
So we need to change that sentence, mainly under treasurer report, the fourth sentence down. And we can work on the language on that. Anything else?
That was all I had.
Okay, thank you. So at this point, we will move into a vote, led by Mr. Ritesh Agarwal.
Please present your vote for approve, disapprove, or abstain with edits for the February 2026 calendar and business meeting minutes. Terry Matthews Cotton.
Approved.
Approved. Thomas Harris Small.
Approved.
Approved. Robert Cruz is not here.
Edits.
Yes, approved with edits.
Ritesh Agarwal. Approved. Karina Garcia.
Approve with edits.
Approved with edits. Nicole Costello.
Approve.
Approved. Jeff Cunningham? Approved. Approved. Taisha Bernard?
Could you pass her the mic? Taisha, hold on one second, we can't hear you. Could you pass her the mic, please?
You said abstain?
No, she's saying something, she's asking a question. It's okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, Taisha Bernard, I just wanted to be clear, for the uncertified February calendar, business minutes, I would like to confirm the approval process.
So, the approval process that we're doing is, do you mind if I?
No, go ahead.
We're gonna, to say, yes, we are gonna vote to move them as approved to post them. However, we're still gonna do some edits to be made for it. So if you see anything that you feel that is not accurate on there, then you say approve with edits and you give the edit. So I kind of like went through my list of edits. That's what, Madam President is doing the same thing with, which chimed in, where you chimed in. So it's like all those things you just said, and she took notes, and she's gonna approve that, she's gonna make edits, and they're still gonna be approved. So once she finishes with them, she'll email them back out, but we don't have to come back and
One thing, if you're absent on that meeting, I think you have to,
abstain, right? So,
Okay,
that's your question.
so yeah, I for edits.
Wait,
But
let's
you
take
were
her.
There was discrepancies with some of them, so I need to clarify and update the months. Because I was present in certain months that I was documented as absent.
in February, last month,
So, yeah, because I think this is just for that.
This one's just for.
this is just last month.
So you're only referring to last month because I went for.
This is just last month.
I noticed in November, I was about absent.
Yeah, we'll fix
So
it.
I'm just trying to clarify, I'm gonna still be on the same page as everyone without any delays.
Right.
I don't want to have a conversation if it's not necessary.
Got it, makes sense, okay.
Thank you, Taisha, for pointing that out. No, it's very necessary and that needs to be corrected. So if you would let us know which months need to be corrected, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, and it doesn't have to be right now, like, you don't have it at the top of your head. You can just let us know and then we'll correct it. Thank you. Yeah, good point. Thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You know your number. For February, I think you might need to abstain from the vote.
That's
because you're
okay.
here. Okay.
Thank you.
Just say abstain.
So what is your final vote here, for the February meetings?
Say abstain.
Sorry, what was your question?
Taisha,
Yes.
should I not abstain? You have to say
Abstain, yes, yes, sir.
abstain.
Abstain for February.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Peter Cole?
Abstain.
Abstain. Ashley Jones?
Approve with edits.
Approve with edits. Okay, so
And
this is.
I would just like to make it clear that my approval was with edits as well, as is Ms. Mary Smith.
Okay. So we have 8 approvals.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 8 approvals, 1 abstain, and 7 approvals, 1 abstain and 2 absent. 2 absent, 2 abstain, like they was here, and then we have 1 person who wasn't able to vote as they are absent. So the February meeting minutes, the calendar and business meeting minutes are now approved with edits. We would like to move into the leaders of tomorrow middle school vote. Does anyone need any background information on that, or are they clear on what we're voting on? So Principal Bernard being back here tonight, and he spoke about the proposed name change for Leaders of the New School to Leaders of Tomorrow School, to the Iodine and Young Center, Bronx. And as I understand it, the CEC just needs to vote on whether or not we approve of the name change. Yeah. Yes, Jeff?
Does anybody have any idea of like what the community input of the current school is? I didn't get a sense of that at all.
For the name change?
Yeah.
Or just?
For the name
The change?
Just the name change, like, I don't.
To be honest with you, we didn't really get you background on it, the information was presented really close to the meeting, so we didn't get a chance to ask a lot of questions. Do you want to table the vote?
Not necessarily,
I mean, I understand, because I have questions as well, so I do understand.
like, I don't, unless I missed it, I don't feel like we did a question section for that.
So the public comment section.
Wasn't that the school where we saw, the previous
That's why-
chancellor, Ms. Alvarez? Isn't that the school that they're planning on changing the name?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
Where we had where the chancellor came to do
Yeah.
the town hall.
No,
That wasn't that.
No, that's
school.
Cornerstone.
Okay,
This is the Richard R. Green campus.
okay.
They're doing the.
This is the school on fourth floor of the MS 144 or something, where we had the fair, school fair,
No.
the middle school fair.
No.
The middle school
No,
fair
no,
was
no.
held in one of the schools. This school, Iowine and Young, is on the fourth floor of that school.
No.
No,
Isn't it the
No.
building, it's where we had the
this
monthly
is,
meeting a
this
couple
is
of
the
months ago?
Richard R. Green
Yeah,
campus.
we had our.
We had a
Have we done a
monthly
meeting there before?
Yes.
Yes, we have.
So that's, he did a presentation before, that principal did the presentation.
Well, he spoke and welcomed people and things like that, yeah, and didn't he?
But he
give some
mentioned
drumming?
that, he mentioned the great news, that they have been
Yes.
selected.
Yes, and we
I
voted
didn't-
to expand to high school.
Yeah, I didn't see any pushback from the community at that point.
Yeah, right, I don't think I attended that meeting that day, I don't think
No, this is when
yeah.
they were talking about, they had a whole meeting about the school extension.
The only thing that I'm gonna bring up, and Terry, because you did bring up a good point. And when I think about community, I think about, because that school is in Community Board 12, right? Which, we know the community board chair that sits on the education committee. And so I like that you brought that up, and we have not did our due diligence with just checking in with Community Board 12. I
Who's
didn't
the
attend
school
the
liaison?
last meeting.
Who's the liaison there?
Well, I'm asking to be the liaison, but right now it's you.
Really? So they said that. Should kept our mouth shut.
There was a meeting, like when 108 was expanding
Oh, I
to Middle
remember,
School, for
yeah,
example.
I remember.
There was a meeting and the superintendent was
Yes,
there.
yes, I remember.
And, I was there.
But
And
that
they
was for something
present,
else.
and that was,
But that wasn't
no,
about
for
the-
this one.
That wasn't about the name change, though. That was specifically about.
But
going
this
to a
one was
six-
Yeah, they did the
expansion.
presentation
Yeah,
about
it
the
was
name
just about the
change.
expansion, it wasn't about the name change. Because they didn't talk about a name change at that time. They were only talking about the expansion.
It was not included.
I could swear they talked.
No,
This is a new thing.
They did, so a proposal was passed last year for that school. It was a merger proposal.
Yes.
That because it was two schools in there, Leaders of Tomorrow and, I forget the others.
Yeah.
You remember Leaders
Yeah,
of Tomorrow, and there was another school in there. And so the first ask, and it went through PEP, and it got approved, and it started in September of this year, that there are no longer two schools, they're one school now. How they were before. And now, the new proposal is for them to move from us, because they right now, I think they're currently a 6 to an 8.
Middle school.
Yes.
A middle school. So now the new proposal that's being asked is if they could not only change the name completely, but they're also looking to change a 6 to a 12.
Yeah, they're already at 6 to 12.
So the
It's
6
gonna
to
start
12
whenever.
and starts in September.
The only thing we're talking about is.
So the K through 6 will remain the same, and the 6 to K will be the young.
No, they don't have
No,
a K at
it's
all.
gonna be a
It's a middle
6
school,
through
6 to
12.
12.
But that part is passed,
now,
but that's approved.
That's
Okay.
done, yeah.
So now they're asking, in addition to that being approved, they need a separate approval to change the name. That is, that, I just know that that's protocol.
Yes.
But still, Jeff has a good point about just
We have to approve the name change.
asking community board 12. And Terry, I am going to pop it over to you because now you tell me what you think.
Table it. So we could do our research.
So, what does the council think? This is not, this is a democratic table. I have two concerns. So I did have my own questions. However, I am very hesitant to get in the way of what would be an incredible opportunity for these kids. So I didn't want to do anything which would, derail the movement or offend any of the funders. However, I do understand that council members have questions, and I think they're valid. So I turn it back to you guys, what would you like to do?
Is there a deadline for when they need to have this?
That was gonna be my question.
This decision or our support? When do they need to have our support by?
I think that's a very good question. Naomi, can you follow up with Principal Bailon and ask him if there's a hard date? And if needed, are there any objections to potentially having a special meeting before the next monthly meeting to vote on this?
Wait, can we look in our email for the next PEP meeting? Cause it would, I mean, we can find that really fast.
Can you talk on, there is a meeting on March 23rd.
PEP's meeting is March 23rd. Then that might be,
March 23rd, there is a meeting,
25th.
25th?
So is that when they, so that's probably when they need it by.
If it's on the.
If it's on
the agenda.
So we'd have to have a special.
Is that, Naomi?
The one
Naomi,
is 2030.
do you have Principal Bianot's phone number? His cell phone number?
Yeah, that's it.
Principal Bianot, do you have his cell phone? Could you just call him and ask him, please, really quickly? Maybe he'll answer and we could just answer the question. In the meantime, can we move on to the school liaison list and we'll
circle back to this, we'll just move on to the school liaison list. So there was a change proposed by Ms. Ashley Jones. If anyone just has a moment to take a quick look at the updated list, they know this is the updated, right? After Ashley's thing. Yeah, this is the updated list. If there are no objections, then we can move to vote on it.
Wait a minute. Oh, this isn't updated because it says Ashley Jones to be announced. Oh, it's behind. Sorry. Okay, here it is. What is this, sweetheart?
So the setting is red will get deleted from there and added to investments.
Oh, I see.
So she's asking to yours.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. You're quick. Your eyes are quick. Yeah, so the red ones are gonna be removed.
And the red ones in here means they're getting added. So you need to take those.
If anyone has any questions, as we understand it, if you look at the second page of the school liaison list, you'll notice that some of the schools are highlighted in red under different members' names. And then those same schools are all highlighted in red under Ashley's names. If we're following Naomi's train of thought correctly, and I think we are, thank you for this, Naomi, she's identifying under the different members' names which school is being moved to Ashley. So the ones in black under the member names remain as is, the ones which are red are to be transferred to Ashley's list. If anyone has any objections, just please let us know. If not, we can move into a vote on this item. And we still have 3 schools and 1 campus remaining for the council's consideration. I understand that we do have open seats, so we're going into April for the next meeting. I'm wondering if maybe we should divvy those up and start this in the principal, so they're not left out.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I can take all of them for the meantime. We just focus on the consult.
So Naomi, as president, I'll just take the other schools in the meantime until we get a council member to come forward. Sorry? Yeah, unless anyone else would like to. Be on the back of the page.
Yeah.
But if no one else would like to claim any of these schools, just as.
So you will take PS 89, PS 87, PS 483.
PS 89, PS 87, PS 483, and the Castle Hill campus. Which is MS 127 and PS 567.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 schools under your name?
That's fine, I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, so can you move to a vote, please?
So I would quickly like to clarify the changes that were made. So Terry Matthews Cotton President has 6 schools under her name. Yoga Small has 4 schools currently. Robert Cruz has 1. Ritesh Agarwal has 5. Karina Garcia has 4. Peter Cole has 1 school, 1 campus. And Taisha Bernard has 4 schools. Nicole Costello has 4 schools. Jeff Cunningham has 1 school and 1 campus. And Ashley Jones has 4 schools. These are the current proposed changes. So we are going to move on to a board to finalize that list. And so please say approve, disapprove, or abstain. Terry Matthews Cotton?
Approved.
Approve. Thomas Murray Small? Approve. Approve. Robert Cruz is absent. Ritesh Agarwal? Approve. Karina Garcia?
Approve.
Approve. Nicole Costello?
Is Nicole there?
Nicole, are you there? I'll come back to Nicole's name. Jeff Cunningham? Approve. Taisha Bernard? Approve. Peter Cole? Approve. Approve. Ashley Jones? Approve. Nicole Costello?
Approved.
Approve. Okay, so we have a unanimous 9-0. 18 person and 1 two guys vote.
Thank you, so that the record shows that the school liaison list has been edited and approved with the edits. At this time, we would like to move into the treasurer report, being on the school university. Sure, Ms. Lopez, very small.
Now that the liaison list is approved, Naomi, can you start sending out the introductory emails for us with the principals? And then just update that page on the website. The
Liaison page on the website, just update that as well.
All votings are complete.
I think she would be able to access it until we.
Oh, no.
Okay, beautiful, thank you. So we'll move right into the treasurer report with Ms. Mussy. Hello.
Okay. I will read the numbers that we have. The members reimbursement remainder, we have 7,525. President reimbursement, the remainder is 1,400. Monthly meeting, we have 726. Office supply budget, we have 295.12. The P card, 144. The large event, we have 6,165. The swag, 1,000. That's the total of 17,225. You can continue submitting your disbursements. One notice about the money in the office supplies that we would say to keep that money for the certificates or the paper that we will need for maybe for the large event, the certificates, or for the 10 years event.
But you are already accepted.
We have to look into that line because the amount that we have paid for that paper is less than $100. So we will have a remaining. You can see into the papers that Naomi attached. There's the how much we pay for for papers and, how much it was the maestros. So, but that line right now, maybe we will have a remainder if we don't think about, how to use the 295. What else? There's the quotes for the large events in there, so you can see around how much we will need to have the events in Maestros and Easy Good Manners, and I think the other one is three quotations. Easy Good Manners, Maestros. There was not another place, Naomi, for the large event, just Easy Good Manners and Maestros. So we can see the quotations that Naomi got, and some proposed dates for that event, like May 21. What else? The swag, we have to look into what the council will order. We could maybe order the same thing that we've been ordering, or we could look into, for example, lanyards that we tried before, but it was too much. We couldn't afford it. So those are things that we have to look into.
Do we have to vote on the items?
Not really.
Okay. Just curious.
But it is, just to, because we will talk about, in our agenda, we will talk about we will discuss the budget, the plenary event. So one of the things that we have to look into that is that line, the office supply budget, that money we have there. That maybe we will have the remainder if we don't find, things that we need to pay for.
But she could also buy additional supplies that would cover next year.
She did,
like ink and all that stuff. So the reuse, if you're printing a bunch of certificates.
But Naomi, usually you calculate all what you need for the rest of the year, and she bought it all. Yes, it's organized. So,
thank you, Karina.
Okay.
Thank you, Karina. At this time, I would like to move into the tenant event. Ashley, do you want to take the lead on that?
Well, but so far, I just know that we have a confirmed date. Do I need this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can. We have a confirmed date for May 14th. And so, from there, there was no ask for us to bring any. Let's follow up just to see about it, because we didn't have an official meeting yet. And so what I'll do is I will set up a meeting. I will set up a meeting for us to start meeting, whenever we can, so offline. And then we can talk about, well, what are they asking us to bring? Because we're already in March, April, so by April, we can actually say what the ask.
Okay.
Let's do that.
These quotations,
But just last year, we donated pizza, just so in case people wanted to know, pizza and drinks.
Do you want to also talk about the other event as well?
Yes, so, the Maestro catering, call for our parent leader legislative event. Naomi got quotes for us. I asked for 90 people because the budget is, it's was trying to meet the budget. I don't know where these high numbers came from, cause now I'm looking even at the quote versus what we actually have to spend, and this is all we have to spend, right? You're not having any money from us, anybody, like this is it? Okay, all right. So the date, let's say this, I got a date. So the date that works for the district, is May 7th. So just so we can just talk through it. Okay, we asked for either May 7th or May 21st. And they picked May 7th because May 7th is Yankee Day versus May 21st is a meeting with the principals, and that's an all-day event that kind of ties them out. And so if we can agree tonight that we're gonna do May 7th, we can lock that in as the date, and then I can start planning and just looking at the budget overall. We can clearly see we're not gonna have enough. So I am going to go back, have a conversation, with Eastwood, through Naomi, and possibly whether we can get a better number, or we have to turn down the guest. Yeah, we just gonna turn down the guest list again, we should be fine, so that's the question.
We could also let them know our budget and see if they'll do it for that amount.
That's what I'm gonna say too.
I mean, it's $200, maybe they'll say, okay.
So we can, yeah, we, but I don't like to do it too firm, but I guess we will, because that they give us the budget, we're not allowed for fundraising, and we can get sponsorship, but we can't split the. So meaning like, if someone was to sponsor the event, they would have to sponsor the entire. We can't say what you sponsor. So, yeah.
Maybe she can say that.
Naomi, the supply, the office supply line, can be used to buy swag? Could be.
But it would just have to be some sort of a math chart, and we will not have the budget modification.
Oh, you brought up a point. I have a question. Can the monthly meal line also do large events? What's the difference between them two? Like if we wanted to take 200 from the monthly meal line, like how does that work?
You mean in lieu of having meals at the meeting that month, we use the money that month for? I mean, I don't see, based on that, I don't see any objection.
Yeah.
It's not like we're buying monthly meals and then something else.
You guys know because I don't understand these financial, I'm not a financial person.
So there's certain lines that are kind of, I won't say interchangeable, but they use kind of the same accounting codes. Let's put it that way. So you can use those interchangeably because the accounting codes are the same. So I don't know which ones exactly, because I don't know the those are, but that is a thing, and my rep did say that. But there are certain lines that are.
So that's another conversation. It looks like we can have a meeting about that. But I think first with Terry, what Madam President said, let us go with them with this, this is what we got to work with this. And then if he says no, then we can come back and we can have a conversation with her. And then if she says no, then we can just turn to this.
But we can ask her too at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Do you have certain ones that are?
Who's reaching out to her?
I can reach out, I can put them together.
Okay.
So let me get, I have no problem.
but for reimbursement. For everyone.
So does that wrap up the budget purchases discussion?
All of these other things.
The stuff that Karina was talking about, the swag. Okay, so Ashley, do you want to update us with your conversation with Ms. Tolene Dickerson?
Okay, so Ms. Colleen Dickerson, who is the Community Board 12 Educational Chair, did say that Principal Biernat, and luckily they were right there together, and I can say I bear witness, and I heard his voice over the phone, that he had presented to them the name change, and she was aware, and that the community had gave their, you know, for lack of better word, blessing on the name change. So we can continue to go how we need to.
How do you feel about that, Jeff? Do you want us to still do additional? You okay? But thank you for your input, because I have questions as well.
Yeah, well, I understand the principle.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so next on the agenda would be the vote to support the name change from the Leaders of Tomorrow School to the Irvine and Young Center Bronx. Sweet Jesus.
Hello? Yeah. So we are voting for the name change for renaming Leaders of Tomorrow School to Yavine and Young Academy.
Yes.
Please say approve, disapprove, or abstain. Terry Matthews Cotton?
Abstain.
Abstain. Lucas Very Small?
Approve.
Approve. Robert Cruz? Not approved. Abstain. Ritesh Agarwal? Abstain. Karina Garcia? Approve. Nicole Costello?
Approved.
Approve. Jeff Cunningham? Approve. Raisha Bernard? Approve. Peter Paul?
Approve.
Approve. Ashley Jones?
Approved.
Approve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 approvals and 2 abstains.
Thank you. So with 7 approvals and 2 abstains, let the record show that the motion to support the name change from the Leaders of the New School, I'm sorry, Leaders of Tomorrow, Leaders of the New School, Leaders of Tomorrow School to the Irvine and Young Center Bronx has passed. Congratulations to Principal Vera. I wish them nothing but success for them and their children, and a highly, not profitable, what's the word, productive partnership for the future of these children. In the meantime, in between time, I think that is it, unless anyone has any comments. Yes, Ashley?
Do we need to approve on the legislative event date?
I thought,
No, you just say it?
I thought just say it and be.
Isn't it what's available and what's for the district? We approve the date?
We didn't go through the thing.
So just for my own understanding, you're talking a legislative event, not tenure.
Yeah, just.
Right? And the tenure is what the district decided was gonna be the 7th, and the legislative was what we had the date on?
It's what we, wait, you say that again, I'm sorry.
So the legislative falls under our purview, but the tenure fell under theirs?
Well, I don't want to say theirs, it's our combined thing.
Okay.
So that's, the legislative is ours. And the tenure is our combined thing, that's why it's just gonna be posted during our meeting.
So a vote can't hurt. Would you like to vote, just in case?
I felt like the last 2 times we did a vote.
Okay.
So let's just,
So Mr. Agarwal, I would ask you to just, conduct another vote for the date. Do we have any additional voting forms? Naomi, do you have any guys? Thank you. Naomi, that's-
I do remember.
And we're just going to, approve for the date, the proposed date. Which is May 14th, right, Ashley?
Which day?
It's legislative, it's May 14th.
No,
May 7th, okay.
This is voting for?
To hold the legislative event on May 7th.
I will go. For May 7th. And when
But there was 2 dates, the 21st and the 7th.
They said the 7th worked best because the 21st is something else.
So-
The 7th.
Alright. So, we are having a vote to hold the legislative event on 5/7/2026. 5/7/2026. Terry Matthews Cotton.
Approved.
Approved. Topaz Marais Small.
Okay.
Topaz Marais Small. Approved. Robert Cruz is absent.
what are we voting?
To hold the
We
legislative
are voting
event
for
on the
to
7th.
hold the legislative event on 5/7/2020, 2026, 7th of
May
May,
7th?
May 7th. Ritesh Agarwal, abstain. Karina Garcia,
Abstain.
abstain. Nicole Costello,
Approved.
approved. Jeff Cunningham, approved. Taisha Bernard, approved. Peter Cole, approved. Approved. Ashley Jones, approved. 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 We have 7 approvals and 2 abstentions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal. With that, we have 7 approvals and 2 abstain. Okay, and 1 absent. So with that, the vote has passed. The legislative events barring any unforeseen circumstances will be held on May 7th. I believe that concludes all of the business meeting items for March 2026. If there are no objections or no further comments, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I, Peter Cole, make a motion to adjourn our business meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. Can I have a second?
I actually don't second the motion to adjourn the business meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Jones, and with that, I tell you that Ms. Cotton do declare that the March business meeting is now adjourned. The time is 8:41 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
You guys, I know this was painful.
Good night.
Good night.